Hey guys, it's time to squat. Today we are going through the squat, and there's a lot of different ways to squat. I mean, a lot. There's like high bar squat, low bar squat, parachute squat, pistol squat, barbell squat. There's just endless amount of squats. But what we are going to go and check, we're going to check the basic high bar squat, which is the most common version that people usually do, and it is part of our pull day. Okay, so we're doing the squat. Why are we doing the squat? Well, squat is a compound exercise, which means we're working a lot of muscles. We are not isolating something, so it will affect almost entire body, mostly like a middle part of it. But if we would have to say a few different muscle groups that are mostly affected, it would be front of your thighs and inner side of your thighs and your glutes. So those are the parts that gets the heaviest impact, so to speak. So what is the first thing you should do when you start squatting? Well, you need to get some heat for your legs and your middle area, because also to your lower back. If you do squat with heavy weights while your muscles are still cold, it can be actually quite dangerous, especially for your lower back. If you stress it a little bit extra and you have completely cold muscles, it can cause like a serious injury. You really want to warm up for this move before you start doing it. So first of all, setting the barbell height. You need to have it in the rack around your armpit level. Don't put it too high, because you might have them problems getting it back after you're exhausted and you're doing with the heavy weights. So around armpit level, where you have to bend your legs just a little bit to get under it. Then just make a warm-up set with nothing but barbell. Make a good range of movement so that everything warms up really nicely. And amount of repetitions can vary a little bit, but at least 5 or something, maybe 8, even 10 if you feel very cold. You need to warm up really nice for this one. Few pointers when you're doing this movement. First of all, you need to know that do not keep the barbell on your neck. Make sure it's on the shoulders. You don't want to get neck problems because it's all over your neck. So a little bit lower, make sure it's on the shoulders, not the low bar squat, but steadily on the neck. And when you go down, every time you go down, there's different levels how deep people will go, but go as deep as it is comfortable for you. And make sure that when you're in the lowest position, you don't curve your lower back at all. So if you go too deep, it starts curving. Don't go so deep that it starts curving. You have to be in the same position all the way through the entire motion. Your back needs to be in same position. And also, one thing to notice that when you are in lower position, you cannot relax in lower position. If you feel like you are like relaxing and then jumping back, that's the wrong way to do it. You have to stay tight and tense all the way through the motion. There shouldn't be resting position in the lower position. Another few details. When you start going after the basic warm-up, you can increase weight about 60% or something. Just put some weights in it, not maximum, just for the first one yet. And do around 5 repetitions to 8 repetitions. One thing I want to point out that how your feet are placed. You need to have your feet pointing not straight but little bit outwards. It will give a safe position for your knees, because your knees cannot go inwards. They need to go a little bit outwards, pointing out when you are squatting. Not too much, but a little bit. After this you can go for your full sets. I recommend 5 times 5, it's pretty good. But if you want to do this a little bit in safer way, you can do 8 repetitions and a little bit lighter weight. Also, if you have a machine that has the safety bars, like shown in the video where Shang was training, that's the best way to do it, because then you can go really heavy and you don't have to worry about not being able to do the full sets. Every time, however, when you do this full set and go with heavy, don't bend too much forward, because that will be a big problem for your lower back. So keep always the posture and keep the weight in the middle so that it's not going forward or backward. Balance is very important in this one, and I highly recommend using the safe part if you have any chance to do so. Okay, now maybe you're wondering why the squat is done in the pull day. There doesn't seem to be any kind of pulling movement. Well, it is if you're doing the push-pull system where you're doing the legs also in pull day, then that's how you can combine squat with the pull day, because there's no pushing going on at all. The bar is basically resting on your shoulders. You're not using any kind of pushing muscles. So it's excellent exercise to do in your pull day, because it will let your pushing muscles to rest. And you're also training legs. So you can combine the pull and legs in the same day by implementing squat in your exercise. So that's the reason squat is usually done in pull day, because you don't necessarily have to do push-pull legs. You can do just push-pull if you are taking advantage of the squat. So that's pretty much about squat. I can't really think of anything now. Anything else I should tell you about it, but I hope that was helpful and you found some kind of details that you might have not thought about before. Once again, the warm-up is really important in this one. At one point I did squat as my first exercise of the day, and I did hurt my lower back a little bit because I was too cold to do it. So usually I do a little bit deadlift first and then move to squat. But even before the deadlift you have to warm up really well and start deadlift with a lower weight. But yeah, squat is something that you can really jerk your back if you're doing it with a cold back, because you are very tense when you're doing the squatting. Your lower back is really tight, and you need to keep it tight all the way through entire motion. No bending in the lower position and no relaxing in the lower position. What comes to breathing, you basically take a full breath, you go all the way down and all the way up by holding your breath all the way. Then you breathe out when you're up a position. Then you take a full breath, you go all the way down, all the way up with your lungs full. So that's all about it, and thanks for watching.